Alright, things are getting real weird right now in the world. I'm sure you've all seen the UFO hysteria. Every couple hours it seems like a new UFO is being identified and blasted out of the sky. This is a phenomenon that's happening around the world, it seems, and it's leading people to believe that aliens are coming to visit us in droves, like they're all taking a school field trip to planet Earth, and then subsequently getting shot down, which I can't imagine would have been part of their itinerary. Now, this all started with the spy balloon that the US shot down. Basically, this balloon the size of a few school buses was identified and then executed. Just this giant balloon that looked like the house from Up, but instead of a house, it was just a surveillance device, which they said came from China, and from what I've read, China did take ownership of it, but called it an overreaction to shoot it down, which gave me a bit of a giggle, because I just love that image of like, hey, whoa, guys. Hey, cool the jets a little bit here, calm down, you know? No need to get so rambunctious and shoot it down. Which is just a silly thought, but this kind of opened the floodgates to UFOs, like inviting this unknown menace in, because now UFOs are being sighted every day, every couple of hours really, across the world. A few hours ago, China said that it was preparing to shoot down an unidentified flying object, so they're all over the place. It's a very interesting situation, and this is even more weird considering I just posted a video going over aliens and how I don't believe they've ever visited Earth, and now 2 days later, we've got UFOs out the wazoo here. Maybe the madman I was arguing with on Twitch was right about warp drives, and they're fucking firing on turbo mode with their warp drive technology to visit us here. I'll go ahead and give my perspective now. I still am not convinced it's aliens, because if it was, we stand 0% chance of actually shooting them down. Our technology wouldn't even begin to make them, like, consider us a threat. We are so laughably low on the technological food chain of a species that can visit our planet, because they would have cracked things that are beyond our comprehension. There's no way they'd somehow fall victim to our weaponry. But zoinks Scoob, I'll tell ya, I couldn't be happier to be proven wrong. I would love if this truly was extraterrestrial tourists just coming by to visit, though I'm sure they wouldn't be happy about us destroying their, like, balloon travel devices, but god damn it, that would be amazing. I also love the idea that it actually is alien visitors, and the way that they get here is through, like, hot air balloon through space. Like, the most inefficient means of travel imaginable, but somehow that's the one that they've chosen. But regardless, I would love if it was aliens. I also love the discussion around aliens right now. You'll have people giving all kinds of, like, evidence, once again, of, like, abductions and shit. I fell asleep one day while working on the construction site, and when I woke up, there was ejaculate in my pants. And I didn't even remember having a wet dream. Fucking aliens abducted me and jerked me off in order to frame me to look like a weirdo at my job. You know, like, discussion around aliens has never been hotter than right now. And again, I would love if these UFOs really were alien, but I'm doubtful. And you know what? Maybe I could even make an argument for why aliens might want to visit Earth. Maybe they're coming here to buy Moist Global merch from moistglobal.com. It's so comfortable that words traveled across the galaxy. It's the best fucking merch ever designed, and they know it, so they have to come to Earth in order to get, like, proper connection to the server, so that way they can purchase it. And you can too. It's all available at moistglobal.com. Right now we're doing a special 15% off on all Moist Esports merch, so definitely feel free to check all that out if you're interested. moistglobal.com, baby. Anyway, though, I find all this very exciting, even though I'm not fully sold on it being aliens. I am very curious to learn more about all of this, because I'm sure tons of information will start to surface about what these UFOs actually are, what their purpose is, where they come from, all that kind of shit. So, very interesting time period. I'll show you some clips from stream where we talked about it a little bit more. You see the UFO videos over Canada. Is there video of it? I only saw the picture of the one that got shot down. Let's see. NORAD stated that they lost Santa's tracking signal. I fear the worst. Oh god. Heaven have mercy on the elves. Yeah, that's what we have up right here, the Canada UFO thing. Someone said there was a video, but I haven't found it yet, aside from the cell phone one where you can't see shit. I hope it's aliens. But all the pictures make it seem like it's probably another balloon. NORAD just said they locked up airspace in Montana. Something came up on the radar and disappearing. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say what everyone's thinking. It's no coincidence that Tom Brady retired and now all of a sudden aliens keep popping up. He was keeping us safe both on the field and off the field. The FAA has released a statement. The FAA has closed some airspace over northern Montana to support the Department of Defense operations. Contact NORAD for additional information. I'm also going to say that I really don't think it's anything extraterrestrial. There's no way that we would ever be able to fight back against something that could actually visit us. It'd be impossible. It's definitely more spy balloons or some kind of surveillance tech from somewhere on Earth. There'd be no shot we'd successfully shoot that shit down. Let alone ever see it. Yeah, maybe drones too. Could be any of that. You should go check it out, get us the real inside scoop. You know what Mr. Beast should do? He put out a tweet saying, would you vote for me for president? He should become president and just release all of the information they have about aliens. That'd be so hype. That video would be huge too, by the way. The views on that would be outrageous. Like, last to leave the circle gets all of the Area 51 documents. Yeah, and all of them are so fucking weak that they get shot down by primitive human technology. They can travel across the cosmos with technology we can't even begin to comprehend, yet they get shot down by our fucking jets. How embarrassing. A fun thought, though. They spec'd all of their points into travel and nothing into defense, so they're just full glass cannon build. Well, it wouldn't even be glass cannon. Glass wheel. So you talked about aliens 4 days ago, and they visit Montana and Alaska today. Thoughts? Hey, I think it's all connected. Maybe the aliens watch my streams and shit. They're like, oh fuck, he's talking about us. Alright, we'll show ourselves a little more often. That stream was fire. Aliens have come here to compete for Moist Esports. We talked about it on stream. If aliens do visit us, we want to be the ones to make first contact so we can sign them to Moist Esports. Imagine the position that gives us. They would be dog shit at video games. They don't need to go pro in any game. They can just be like content creators for us. Brand ambassadors. Yeah, pretty much. What do you mean? No, like if the aliens actually did show up and, you know, for some reason we negotiated a really good contract for them with Moist Esports, I think they wouldn't even need to really do anything special. But like if they're releasing the little balloons that we're shooting down, maybe fill one of those balloons with like, I don't know, maybe Moist Esports merch or something, right? Or even paint it blue, like Moist Esports colors. Like they wouldn't need to do anything special for us. They can keep doing what they're doing, but under the Moist Esports umbrella. What if the aliens break TOS? I mean, that's fine. We'd have to teach them the guidelines and shit. Plus, I doubt they'd want to go that hard anyway. Like right now, all they're doing is getting shot down. Like they're not doing anything too risky. Much to the delight of my entire family, today we have received some groundbreaking news in regards to aliens. I feel like I'm giving some kind of press conference here about it because I feel so personally invested in it. For my entire life, my family has always firmly believed that extraterrestrials have not only visited this planet, but made contact with us, and we've like recovered some spacecrafts and all kinds of gadgets and gizmos that the government isn't telling us. And now they've received some vindication that that belief might be the truth. Today there was a hearing with a gentleman named David Grush who was claiming that not only have aliens come to this planet, but we have recovered some wreckage, some items, even some bodies, perhaps. And this is all sworn under oath, and he is a pretty credible source, all things considered. He was a military intelligence officer for about 14 years. He had, from what I understand, from what I've researched here, pretty high-level clearance. He was a pretty important person in his post, and he is now putting all of this public at this hearing. Now, he hasn't presented any concrete evidence or any evidence like that, any proof, but his claims, he says, do have not only eyewitness supports, but real concrete proof, irrefutable evidence that he is unable to share publicly, but is able to share in private with Congress. So it's a very interesting development. I'll go over it a little bit more in depth. I talked about it on stream today. Overall, though, I don't think you're going to find anyone happier about this news than my dad. After the hearing today, my dad called me just full of jubilation. It was like a kid on Christmas. He was giddy. Like a high schooler that actually just got a date to prom. My dad called me, laid out all of the details of what happened in the hearing, and was just so happy to hear someone that has credibility say these things because it gets him excited to hear it. He really wants to see alien proof and get to experience that truth coming to light. So this was a really cool day overall for me and my family. I still don't fully believe it, if I'm being honest, because he hasn't provided any proof. It's very hard for me to just take everyone at their word. I understand lying under oath is a serious offense, but it's not like that's never happened before. You know, you really think someone would do that? Go under oath and tell lies? Absolutely. For sure. It has happened before. It will happen again. I'm not saying it happened right now, but I just don't take anything at just the face value of the claims. I would like to see some of the evidence here. So I'm very excited to learn more about it. This has got me fucking salivating for more information and more details about all of the things that he's claiming. So let me just go ahead and play the stream clips now to bring you up to speed on what went down. How many aliens could we take in a fight? Well, according to David Grush, we stand no chance at actually fighting them, apparently. Which, I have always said, if they are real and have visited us, well, I think aliens are real in the universe at some point. I personally haven't ever thought they visited us, but I've always said if they did, we would stand no chance. We would stand legitimately no chance. It'd be like putting a child up against, like, John Bones Jones. Like, you're never gonna win, right? And that's kind of what he said, too. One of the questions was, are our weapons sufficient to defend ourselves against them? Or something to that effect. And his answer was, absolutely not. According to my dad. So, like I said, I haven't watched the hearing yet, but once it was over, my dad called me, like, damn near celebrating. I could hear kazoos going off in the background. He's like, I told you, Charlie. I told you this day would come, that we'd have legitimate confirmation from reputable sources that aliens have come here. And he was filling me in. He was giving me the nitty-gritty behind everything here. But for those that don't know the situation, David Grush is a former military intelligence officer. We talked about him a little while ago. He is the real deal. He is who he says he is. And he does have actual pretty high-level clearance, as I understand it. And a little bit ago, he came to the public. Well, he made public statements that extraterrestrial visitors have not only been here, but have been observed, and in even certain situations, we have recovered some of their shit. And they had a hearing about this today. These are huge claims. Now, granted, he has not provided any evidence. He hasn't linked to, you know, their social media accounts for us to double check or anything. We don't have any pictures or anything. Like, you know, he doesn't have a picture of an alien doing a keg stand outside of Area 51 or anything. But he is a high-ranking intelligence officer who is making these claims. So it has more weight to it than most. So they had this hearing today, just kind of going over the scope of it, bringing everyone up to speed. And very interesting. He was asked point blank if there's any real biological indication that what they have is not of human origin. And he says, yes, it is not human. When asked how many people are aware of this, like in terms of like unidentified aerial phenomena, he said thousands of pilots have reported them, but are either too embarrassed to come forward, thinking people will call them crazy, or are unable to come forward because of like crackdowns, something like that. Evidence should be king here. Well, he's not on trial. There's no burden of proof here. This is a hearing just to get all the information. He did say he has all of the evidence, but is unable to bring it forward to the public, but is willing to share it with Congress in what's called a skiff, I think, is what my dad called it, or my dad's just making up terms to make me sound like a fucking idiot. I've never heard of that before, but apparently it's like a private hearing, and he said he's more than willing to give over all of the evidence he has on all of his claims in the private skiff. Yeah, that's a real thing? Okay. I've never heard of that. But one thing that I said was very fishy from the start about this story is David Grush actually had expressed written permission from the DOD to come forward with alien information. So to me, he's not really a whistleblower. He's more of like a spokesperson. I don't think that necessarily pokes holes in the credibility of the claims, I guess. But it is very interesting that they're labeling him a whistleblower when he literally has permission from the teacher. You know, this isn't a guy that fucking crawled through the trenches and threw up a signal in the sky in order to get us the information. He had permission. He had their blessing. Why is he doing this? We'll have his answer and then I'll give you my answer. He believes that he's doing the public a great service by bringing this information forward, thinking that we need to be brought into the loop here, brought into the fold in an ever-growing situation here with advanced life forms. I think the reason is distraction. I think all of this is serving as a big kind of distraction for what? I don't know. But I just find it so odd that the DOD would be like super on board with it and let him do all of this. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the distraction would be for. But I mean, here, let's spitball some tinfoil hat shit. Let's assume I'm right and it's all a distraction. I guess what they could do next is make claims like they need to build defense systems in order to combat potential extraterrestrials, like these big-titted goth babe aliens coming to Earth looking to harvest us. We've got to stop it. So we're going to need to increase our spending on defense programs in order to make sure that we're adequately prepared for it. But I would love to believe that this is all very legitimate. David Grush legitimately has real evidence. Aliens are real. We've recovered certain things, and he can prove all of it. That's what I want. But what I really believe is that this is all somehow a distraction. That's where I'm really torn. I don't know. This is, to date, probably the most credible person to come forward with apparently other witnesses of high-ranking military origin with evidence. And we now have more access to unidentified aerial phenomena than ever. That's very hard to explain. So this is probably as credible as it's ever been. But I just don't know. It just feels artificial. He said it all under oath. If he's lying, he just ruined his life. Yeah, of course. But there is a huge difference between a testimonial and evidence. We've heard the testimonial. It's all under oath, of course. But we haven't seen any evidence yet. The Israeli space chief said the Galactic Federation is in contact with America last year. The DoD doesn't support. They just released him to say what he believes is a classified program. That's the only other comment. But that's still giving their blessing, otherwise they would have shut him down like they do most other whistleblowers. For example, like Edward Snowden, right? Like, I feel like if they didn't want it out, it wouldn't have got out. And I don't know what the Galactic Federation is. I didn't realize we had Commander Shepard out there on the fucking Mass Effect relay at the Citadel or something talking to us. That's news to me. If this is all real, do you think they would ever tell the public the full story? No. If not, why do you think they need to hide it? Panic. Brother, we can't even handle the most basic concepts right now. Go on Twitter for any length of time, or excuse me, the platform formerly known as Twitter, for any length of time. People won't even accept the most obvious, conclusive, true statements anymore. We are not ready for it. Why do we have any reason to listen to them when they provide no evidence? Because of where the claim is coming from. This isn't just like a Joe Schmo. This guy was a high-ranking military intelligence officer for like 14 years. Not exactly like the #1 person you'd think to just go out there and lie for no real benefit to himself. No, he didn't say if the aliens were hot or not yet. I'm going to assume no. I've always thought if there were aliens out there, they'd be like insectoid-esque. How would the government even capture the spacecraft? That's exactly what I said. I have no idea. The only thing that I could even somewhat spitball a guess, assuming it's all real, is they recovered wreckage from a spacecraft that blew up somewhere in space and drifted onto Earth and crashed somewhere. I don't think it came to Earth and then crashed. It certainly wasn't shot down. Apparently he even claimed we have no chance of even, like, defending ourselves against them. So it would have just had to be like a drifting piece of something. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you can't crash. Brother, you're not just smart. If you have something that can reach Earth, that means you have something that defies our very understanding, and this is even according to David, apparently. This is what my dad said, and he's right. That means you have something that is so far beyond our comprehension we can't even prove that what we're seeing would be real. You wouldn't just crash on Earth. The only thing that I could even think would be the case is, again, something happened, maybe it hits asteroids out in space and a piece of it breaks off and lands on Earth, crashes into Earth. It wouldn't crash when it gets to Earth. They can travel the galaxy without problem, but when they get to Earth, all of a sudden they're crashing everywhere. I don't think he was claiming that there's been a ton of crashes. Just a ton of sightings. And apparently they do have in their possession some UAP fragments and shit. And I guess bodies too. Aliens heard about your performance in the Hunger Games and needed to come see it firsthand. See, like, there's a theory I'd actually subscribe to. That one would make sense. But why are the aliens here? COVID? That's probably why. COVID hit their planet real hard and they were trying to escape. Or maybe they're here to collect COVID from us. They have like a virus museum or something and they need COVID to be part of it.
I'm asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims.
God, imagine if you brought in an alien.
As I stand here under oath now,
actions speak louder than words. Come in here, Glorb.
Told them. In a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Oh, that was one of the other questions they apparently asked pretty soon, is if anyone ever got injured reverse engineering any UAPs. And he said yes. But again, there's no evidence.
To which I was denied access.
I hope there will be at some point.
When
In what possible sense is he credible just because of his position? Yeah, what? Yeah, obviously. A 14-year high-ranking military intelligence officer with, like, actually pretty impressive clearance? Yes. That is what would make him credible. Yeah. It's like what makes everyone credible is their position. Like, if it was me saying all of this, it would be completely uncredible. I'm a worthless source. Right now, all it seems like is that they've made him a celebrity, with an official endorsement from the DoD. Which seems very weird for a whistleblower to get that kind of glamour from the people he's blowing the whistle on. I disagree. How? Look at all the other whistleblowers like Edward Snowden. Look what happened to him. Oh, here's another one. An easy one. Epstein got fucking murdered when he was about to blow the whole lid off of that crazy operation. If there's something they don't want released, it will not get released. What an incredible day for father-son bonding between me and my dad. With all of the alien information that's come to light today with the Mexican Congress broadcasting some alien corpses, supposedly, my dad and I have been going back and forth spitballing, and I have been doing a deep dive into the most rancid underbelly the internet has to offer when it comes to alien information. Sometimes when you stare too long into the abyss stares back into you. I'll tell you what, sports fans, if there are aliens out there, I'm on their watch list for how deep I've gone. I'm on their ass like a hemorrhoid right now. I'm having a close encounter with a third kind. You might see my eyes roll back into my skull and have me levitating out of the chair here in a moment. Point is, I have found some very intriguing information in regards to these alien bodies. But let me bring you up to speed just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. I posted a video earlier today going over the whole situation, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now, but I'm just going to give you the cliff notes, bring you up to speed on the lore with what's going on. Last night, an individual named Jaime Maussan had brought some supposed alien bodies into Mexican Congress, and this was broadcast to the entire world. He was making claims that these are authentic extraterrestrials, and he had a ton of tests to prove it. All the tests and all the information is public, and he invited anyone else in the world to come into the Thunderdome and analyze the alien bodies to confirm and verify that these are the real deal. Unfortunately, these aliens don't have three massive honkers. They're not goth, big-titted alien babes. They are little goofballs. These tiny little goobers are being shown in Congress, and he's bringing up a ton of pictures as well as data and saying that they were found at the Nazca Lines. They're about 1,000 years old, and they are actual aliens. Now, a little background on Jaime Maussan. He is a UFOologist and a journalist. His main profession is journalism. And this is not the first time he's done this. He also had another mummified remain that he called an alien back in 2017. It was debunked. And this one here is taking the world by storm because a lot of people believe the Mexican government is the ones revealing this. They're breaking the magician's code and they're showcasing real aliens. when that's not the real story here. It is Jaime Maussan and his team that's presenting this. It's not the Mexican government. It's become widespread confusion. Basically, they platformed him and he presented. Not an official endorsement from the Mexican government, at least not as far as I understand here. So, now that you're brought up to speed, what have I found? What new information could have possibly come to light in only 12 hours? Well, this is going to open your third eye here. Get ready to activate your Sharingan because the truth's coming in hot. It turns out these alien bodies aren't new. In fact, these were debunked in 2021. There's a really great YouTube video that goes over exactly what these are. And according to this, they're not aliens. Now, before getting into the video, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about all of the tests? And those haven't been, confirmed as faked or fraudulent or anything like that. So again, if the rest of the world truly does have access to this information and are invited out to actually study these mummified remains and conclude that they are real and authentic, that'd be amazing. Nobody wants them to be real aliens more than me and my dad. But it's just hard to really believe that because there are so many things working against it. I've seen a lot of cope from the community about why they look so stereotypically alien, like the movie depictions, and what they keep defaulting to is saying that people that worked on the movie sets modeled their alien design after real alien encounters and paintings from back in the day, or they'd actually seen aliens like at fucking Area 51 or something, so they made the costumes and the effects to look like that, so it'd be warming us up to what real aliens look like. And to me, that's just a load of baloney. We're teetering on Tumblr fanfic with that reach. I would like to ask you, what's more likely? That, or that whoever had these mummified remains modeled them after our perception of aliens from movies? It becomes even more likely that that's the case when you consider where it comes from. The source here, Jaime Maussan, whom is regarded by some as a hoaxer, who has had similar things in the past be proven completely wrong. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fucking please stop fooling me. You're making me feel dumb. It's, again, nothing's been 100% confirmed here, but I would just like to present to you the evidence here from 2021 with these bodies that suggest it's not actually alien remains.
Now let's study the X-rays of the small mummies. Ufologists go as far as calling them humanoid reptiles. So what do we see? Same stuff. A hodgepodge of human and animal bones.
The channel is called Scientists Against Myths, and they tackled this alien mummified remain phenomenon all the way back in 2021. They even use some of the same pictures that were presented to Mexican Congress last night. So I do believe these are the same mummified remains. I don't think there's any wiggle room to make a real argument that what's being analyzed by this channel is different than what was presented last night. I think it's pretty clear that these are the same.
Here's a mummy named Josephine. A real beauty. Instead of humeri, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. Her legs are even more baffling.
Immediately the question needs to be asked, if this is a real extraterrestrial body, why does it have the same bones us cringe-ass humans have? What are the odds that these aliens would evolve down a similar path we did and have the same bones we did, just in a different order and arrangement? That seems highly unlikely, but let's go ahead and paddle around in the kiddie pool of fantasy and assume that all intelligent life in the universe evolves down similar paths, so every single fucking life form out there in the cosmos has all of the exact same bones we do. Well, in that case, this species got fucked hard in the ass by evolution, because with the way these bones are arranged, it wouldn't even be able to move. They need some kind of evolution patch DLC update here, like a hot fix, because these aliens wouldn't be able to even take a single step.
One of the thigh bones is actually a femur, only facing the wrong way around, while the other one is a tibia. And they are completely mismatched. With the hip bone, there's no joint there at all. The poor humanoid wouldn't have made a single step. Some of the bones are simply chopped off.
So even if you go ahead and write off the coincidence that the aliens have the same bones we do, how could you possibly write off that the way their structure is set up would mean they can't move? Evolution doesn't really work that way. It wouldn't have made it this far if that were the case. And it's getting me gassy, so I'm I'm just ripping mean ass right now. All of this alien stuff has just been so fascinating. And this video says that some of the bones were just chopped off, like kind of just chopped willy-nilly. That wouldn't really happen naturally at all. It suggests that they were made like this, with just an absolute fucking mishmash of different bones going in different places in order to look alien-like.
Note this asymmetry here. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands, with the white part facing up or down. Well, they just forgot to turn them the right way. Stuff happens.
That's pretty damning. Some of the bones are just facing the wrong way because whoops-a-daisy. And like I mentioned, some of these photos that are in this video from 2 years ago were the same ones that were presented last night. Most notably, the alien with the 3 eggs in their tummy. The pregnant alien carrying the triplets. That is in this video. That same X-ray photo was presented last night. So I think we can say with a high level of confidence that all of the information presented for these corpses 2 years ago applies to the corpses shown last night. They are the same. And if that is the case, then a very interesting component of these remains is actually the skull.
French paleontologist Julien Benoit thinks that those who crafted the small humanoid mummies used skulls of some small mammals for their heads, such as a llama or alpaca. Comparison shows that the reptiloid's cranial cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama. The skull was then rotated so its back part faces forward. The reptiloid's face is actually the back of the poor llama's head.
I trimmed this up just a little bit to keep it brief, but they make an extremely strong argument for why this alien skull is actually that of a llama skull. The bulbs, the brain hemisphere, all of it matches up perfectly with a llama skull. The only thing is they cut out and rotated it. And the question then becomes, well, where would they get a llama skull? And the video answers that too. According to one of the historians, back a long time ago, there was actually burials for llamas in the area where these mummified remains were found. So they would have had easy access and readily available llama skulls at the site.
Where could the mummy forgers have gotten a llama skull? Historian Yuri Bereskin has told me that pre-Columbian peoples of Peru often made llama burials. Here's a fresh report about finding buried llama mummies in Peru.
Overall, I think this video makes an extremely compelling case for these being forgeries, not actually alien mummified remains or anything. Now, I have seen that the newest presentation here has the bones in the correct alignment in terms of like the ones that were backwards here in the video. Apparently, what might have happened is they recognized the error first off and then just rotated the bones properly. Though it still doesn't fix the underlying issue of why the fuck would an alien have all of the same bones we have. Like there is still just no good explanation for that other than it just being completely fraudulent really, and that this isn't a real alien remain. But like I said, I would love for this to be the real deal, completely legitimate, and hopefully soon, scientists from around the world will actually go investigate, either confirm or deny the findings, and conclude once and for all if these are real aliens, or if it truly is just a complete forgery here of some mummified remains, if it is just a bunch of bones from a bunch of different things thrown together into this creature here. So, I guess we'll see. I just wanted to show this to you because I found it to be extremely interesting. And yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Last night on Stream Chat, we put something on my radar that I somehow missed in regards to aliens. It's very rare that something slips through my fingertips when it comes to juicy alien details. So now, first thing in the morning, I wanted to look into it because I thought for sure I'd be coming in here, shooting it down. Oh, it's not an alien, it's actually my buddy Eric and his homemade hovercraft. Like, I thought for sure there'd be a logical explanation for what they were telling me, which is new footage has just been revealed in an official capacity in regards to a unidentified aerial phenomena that ate a Hellfire missile. Which already sounds so far-fetched, it sounds like it fit right at home in Ice Cube's new War of the Worlds movie, but, you know, I'll eat my left shoe here. That is like exactly what this footage shows.
I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling.
Declassified?
So
now, I've made fun of a lot of new footage that keeps surfacing, like the fucking steel soccer balls that have been spotted, you know, in Colombia, and then it's like, here's the proof, and it's a guy posing next to what looks like two colanders glued together with his nipples out. Like, that kind of stuff is so silly and so stupid, it is clearly a hoax. This, though, I don't have the same criticism of. But don't worry, I have plenty of criticism for it. This video is still pretty fishy. Granted, this is one of the more, like, authentic-seeming videos that we have, and you all know how much I want to believe, how much I want there to be irrefutable proof of aliens visiting this planet. Me and my dad argue about this 2 times a week. I love this shit. He loves this shit. I, more than anyone, want to suckle from the tit of hopium that this is aliens. But there are just too many things to overlook here that are red flags. 1, why is data on this absent, such as location, travel speed, that kind of thing that would be present on other pieces of footage? For some reason, it seems to crop out so much information that would be present on the actual raw footage of it. Also, why does it cut there? I don't understand the reason for cutting where it does. Why does it cut? Surely they would have still been following that if a Hellfire missile was just fucking fired at it and it's still going. They wouldn't have just dropped it there. If this is all legitimate and you're whistleblowing, attempting to blow the lid off of a big operation here, why would you intentionally hide some crucial data to the footage? It doesn't really check out. Also, this randomly being sent to a congressman with, I'm guessing, little oversight from other departments and other people, that also feels a bit peculiar, like it wouldn't necessarily work that way, I would think, or at least it historically hasn't. So I guess just the absence of that information, as well as like some of the odd circumstances around it, just lead it to feel a bit weird, because it should be there. Like it feels like it's deliberately cropped to not have some of that information there. Also, why were they using a Hellfire missile in the first place? Hellfire missiles, as I understand it, keep in mind, I am not an expert on Hellfire missiles by any means, but you can look this up yourself. Hellfire missiles are typically used for air-to-surface engagements. It doesn't often get used for air-to-air. So it seems like a weird choice for them to just launch the Hellfire missile at this UAP that's scooting through. And it's also equally confusing why it ricochets in the first place instead of just exploding. Because it clearly does make contact there. There's even debris you can see, you know, fire off from it. Why did it bounce off like a fucking ping pong ball here? Let's assume that this is actual alien technology and it's got some kind of hyper advanced, incomprehensible force field or gravity distortion field around it. Like, let's say that's all like legit and alien in there. Fucking Marvin the Martian is cruising through on his new cosmic nut ship, and it just now got this Hellfire missile shot at it. I just don't understand why it wouldn't blow up once it makes that contact the way that it's supposed to. I mean, it, of course, could be like a dud. It really seems like a miracle it even hit it with a Hellfire missile in the first place, considering how seemingly small the target is. But I just don't really get the ricocheting. It feels like even if there is a force field or some kind of crazy tech around it, it still should have just like blown up once it makes that clear contact. Of course, you can make the argument that this technology is so advanced, I am shitting my pants, it disabled the rocket mid-flight and that's why it bounced off, because now it was, you know, completely disarmed or something. Maybe. I mean, if it's alien tech, you know, throw all logic and knowledge we have out the window, because it would be beyond our understanding, truly. But food for thought, and something that I learned about that maybe could be an explanation for this. they make inert Hellfire missiles. They're used for the sake of like training and that kind of thing. Could this be an inert Hellfire missile? It would explain the lack of explosion there. But, counterpoint to my own point of bringing this up, from what I understand, most inert Hellfire missiles don't actually have the ability to be launched. Is it possible this one did? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of maybes here because this is so hard to know what is actually going on here. I haven't seen anything like this. Of all of like the alien ship footage I've seen, this one is the most head-scratching. I'll say it.
So, Mr. Knapp, do you have you heard about events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild, and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
flies like that?
Again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information?
That is something you can also see in the footage. The debris that seems to spawn after the impact does appear to get like wrapped up with the UFO. Like it appears to travel with it from that point forward. And the speculation is it has some kind of like gravity to it that is able to like attract it in, something like that. Again, if this actually is like alien technology, you could just start spitballing the craziest shit ever, and it's possible because any technology that would allow visitors from the universe to come here would be so above and beyond our comprehension, we wouldn't even know what the fuck it would look like. So you could throw out anything like that as an explanation, and if it is actually alien tech, yeah, it's definitely possible. I just have a hard time believing that here. I think the IR camera also makes it seem very different than how it might have actually been in real life. Like, this could be as simple as like some kind of like missile interception test footage that we're seeing through IR that's been shared with the congressman under a completely false pretense. Missile interception technology is something the military actively pursues. Everybody knows that. That is real. Or maybe this moves kind of like a drone. Maybe this is a new type of drone. You know, the fucking rubber drones, the Luffy drones out there designed to ricochet rockets off of it. Like, there are other explanations outside of aliens. And since so much data is missing here, it's hard to really know exactly what it is, and also, like, other crucial components to it. It is very interesting, though.
Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid. There's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected or in some case perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
Naturally, I had to call my dad to see if he had seen this yet, and if he hadn't, I wanted to put it on his radar so we could get the expert's opinion on it. Hey, did you see the new UAP footage, the new UFO eating the Hellfire missile?
What?
Yeah, Congressman just brought some footage of a supposed UFO that got hit with a Hellfire missile, but the missile bounced off it and it continued on its way. You haven't seen that?
No, where was that?
You're slacking. What the fuck? It was earlier.
I'm watching TV. I ain't on the computer.
What was it?
I've been working on my goddamn iRacing for 2 nights. I can't get on there because I did an update and it's all fucked up. I'm probably gonna have to just quit. I can't fix it.
No. You're not gonna retire from iRacing. I'll fix it. Yeah, look it up. It was yesterday, like last night.
What do I look up?
Just type in UFO Hellfire missile.
That was a hoax, though.
No, it's.
Okay.
Just
UFO. What?
UFO
dodges Hellfire missile.
Yeah, what do you think though? You think that's aliens? You think that's real?
They have more than 752 sightings.
Listen to Mom.
They have received more than 750 UAP sightings between May of 23 and June of 24.
No. it's
it's bullshit.
You
That's
can't-
what it, that's
you can't tell what it is. It's a little white dot on a screen, and you see something flying at it and something about. I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just interesting though.
It's nothing discernible. Well, it's really not even interesting. I think it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of freaking hokey, if you ask me. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
How do we even know it's a Hellfire missile? That's what they're saying. We don't know that.
That's true. That is just what they're saying. Well, you heard it here first. This did not pass the smell test for my father. I found it kind of interesting. He, however, smelled stink. The stink of some baloney. So after I heard that from him, I decided to do even more digging. I watched the footage back multiple times. I was reading from other people that had analyzed it quite a bit. And I found a theory that really explains a lot of the wackiness here in the presentation, like the absence of location, telemetry, that kind of thing. They are speculating that the object in the video isn't even moving. What's moving is the drone, the MQ-9 drone. They are saying that the drone is what's moving, and they are panning to the object, so it looks like everything around it's moving, when in actuality it is stationary. It would explain the absence of telemetry data here in the footage, because if that was present, you would see that the object itself isn't moving, it's the drone. So that would explain why they wouldn't want that there, if that is the case. But if that's wrong, it's easily debunkable. You could easily slap that shit down by just releasing the uncropped version of the footage. They're also explaining why the Hellfire missile didn't detonate, because they are speculating that this object is something very small and very light. Like a balloon, which, when it comes to aliens, the weather balloon thing is as old as time. That has been around for a while with the whole, balloon theory. But in this case, I mean, it does kind of check out. Like I said, even if it was some kind of force field on alien tech, the Hellfire would have still exploded. It still would have detonated. But it doesn't here for some reason. Whereas if it passed through something, like a balloon or something really light in the air, it would go through without blowing up. That would explain that, but what it doesn't explain is the seeming ricochet of it. Because it does seem to aggressively ricochet off it, which the balloon theory doesn't account for. But if the object is actually stationary, it would also explain the use of the Hellfire. Hellfire is laser guided. It's hard to laser guide on something that is moving very fast in the air, which is why it's typically reserved for air to surface. If this is stationary, then it would explain how the Hellfire even hit it in the first place, because it's a fucking miracle to have even made contact at all. That is a tough thing for it to do. The balloon theory, or very light object in the sky theory, would also explain the carrying on after being hit with the Hellfire. Let's assume that it is some very light object up there that's stationary, or at the very least only moving little bits with the wind. And then it gets hit by the Hellfire. Well, it kind of maintains most of its shape, but it loses altitude over time. So as it's losing altitude and looks as though it's carrying on, they stop the footage before it gets to the point where it's obvious or it hits the ground. That does also make sense in that context too. So, the balloon theory has some pros and some cons. Once again, it's just more food for thought. I do still find the footage interesting, even though my dad doesn't. I'm kind of surprised I'm the one more surprised by it and kind of bewildered by it. But I don't know, I just find this to be one of the more compelling, more unexplainable UFO videos I've seen in recent memory. So I wanted to yap about it a little bit. That's really it. So yeah. Do you think me a fool? Do you really think there would be groundbreaking new alien information and I wouldn't know about it? Ridiculous. I stay at the forefront of all alien developments. I love alien shit. Last night, there was a surprise broadcast from Mexican Congress where they presented supposed alien corpses. And you bet your sweet bippy I was glued to it. Now, I want to start by laying out the foundation here. I'm going to give you all of the eating utensils before feeding you the meal. Basically, what happened is there is a individual by the name of Jaime Maussan, and he claimed that he had 1,000-year-old alien bodies that he presented at Mexican Congress. There's a lot of confusion around this situation right now. People are misled into believing that this was the Mexican government coming forward and just dropping this hot potato on everyone out of nowhere, when that's not the case. This is from an individual, Jaime Musan, who is a UFOologist and researcher, and he is presenting all of it. And this isn't even his first time doing it. In 2017, he presented yet another mummified alien corpse, not human, but it was later debunked and proven to not be alien at all. So he has done this before, but this time around he's presenting new corpses and also claiming that there's been extensive research, studies, tests, and scientists working on it to confirm that these are 100% real, authentic, extraterrestrial visitors. Now, he and his team are saying that all of this information is available for any scientists around the world to confirm their findings, which I think is great. Inviting research into these is fantastic, and I guess we can finally know for certain if he's being truthful here, and these are somehow actually alien bodies. I guess they came down to Earth for fucking spring break and just, they lost control of themselves, maybe drank too much and died of liver failure. I have no fucking clue. But we have these corpses from 1,000 years ago. He's claiming these are mummified aliens and has a bunch of tests, allegedly, that they've run on them, and is inviting the rest of the world to do the same. So I'm excited to see if the rest of the world does that, and if they also confirm all of these findings. But now, let's get into talking about the aliens themselves, and then I want to bring on an expert, my father. You all know my father is on the cutting edge of everything alien-related. If anyone's going to have an eye to see through the bullshit, it's gonna be old Papa Charles, I'll tell you right now. Oh, it's a little carcass. I couldn't even tell. I don't believe that at all. This is way too stereotypical alien look. I think there is no way. I think there's absolutely no fucking shot. I just don't believe that, though. If this looked actually less like all of the movies depict aliens, I'd be far more on the side of, possibly. But this actually just looks like a prop. From, like, Arrival. Or, not Arrival. What's the, oh my god. What is the one that has the really quintessential grays from back in the day? I can't remember now. They even made like little postcards for them. Like, you're invited. Okay. Pretty cool. It'd be wild if these were real and our movie depictions of aliens were spot on. That would be crazy. That would be big. But I don't see why they would bother faking this. I don't see what the gain is other than like a good joke. Humano? No humano. I understand that. I feel like aliens are likely to look like giant insects. I think they'd be insectoid as well. Your father would disagree? I don't think he'd believe this. This looks very silly. And especially just to drop it cold turkey out of nowhere on a YouTube stream. Well, I guess it was more than a YouTube stream. This just happens to be one of the places it was broadcast. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So they put it into a database that is able to be accessed by anyone to verify their claims. They show a list of tests that have been done to the bodies, including metallurgy specialists, radiologists, and geneticists. They verified the authenticity and age of the bodies. They showed scans of their insides that showed metal implants in some of them, as well as eggs with embryos and organic material inside of them. Okay, well, if anyone can access it, it should be super easy for every other scientist in the world to start running tests on it, then to confirm it. That should be an easy slam dunk then if it's real. Oh, it's a 43 gig file. Holy shit. Well, if it's all there, then put it in the labs of the brightest scientists in the world. They'd all want to get a piece of that action, I imagine. Let them run wild. We could win the alien war if they actually look like that. In hand-to-hand combat, for sure. But their tech to get here must be nuts. So now let's go ahead and break down what we've seen here. Judging from the bodies, they're not that large. They're not, like, imposing in stature. I actually feel confident that I could beat them in a fight, whereas normally the only age group I'm comfortable at beating in hand-to-hand combat is ages 12 and below. I feel like there's just not many children that would beat me in pugilistic combat, and I feel the same for this alien race if they're all about that same size. And who's to say that these aren't like their elite warriors and the normal aliens could be even smaller? Like, I feel like I'd have no problem just wiping the fucking floor with them, just feeding them knuckle sandwiches out the wazoo. So that's nice. That makes me feel a lot more confident should this be a real alien, and they all look like that. I feel like we'd have a really good chance if it came to, like, fighting them with our bare hands. Now, apparently one of the aliens also had eggs inside of it, so I guess it was pregnant. Maybe it's possible we could dust the cobwebs off and hatch those puppies ourselves. That would be pretty wild. But now, anyway, you've heard from the dumb Neanderthal, Charles White Jr., but let's hear from the preeminent expert in alien research, Charles White Sr. I've given you my perspective. I don't necessarily believe this, but I'm going to withhold full judgment for the rest of the world's scientific studies on these bodies. Hopefully those results and those studies will be conducted soon. But let's see what my dad had to say.
Me.
Hey.
What's up?
You look at the alien corpses?
No. Where's that?
How have you not seen them yet? Go look at them right now and tell me what you think.
I'm working on the Top Fuel dragster.
Well, the Top Fuel dragster can wait. You gotta see the alien corpses. I need an expert's opinion.
Why do you care? Because you want to make fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. I just want to know what you think about it.
So where do they claim they got these things from?
The Nazca lines. They claim they're 1,000 years old.
Well, I know all about the Nazca lines.
Yeah, I knew you would.
They look awful small. I mean, to me, it looks like a fucking paper mache rock or something.
So, you don't think it's real alien evidence?
I don't think it's real. I mean, not to me. That's not real alien evidence. That could be any video. Hell, I could build that myself. With some paper mache.
Okay. All right. So this one does not have your stamp of approval as legitimate.
No. But all the other shit in the world does, like all the construction and all the other stuff. I mean, this is like, I don't know. This is too phony to me.
All right. So it's not as convincing to you as Puma Punku and all that.
Fuck no, not even close.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. If my dad doesn't believe it's real alien evidence, then dag nabbit, it's just not real alien evidence at the end of the day. So he's not super convinced of it. He's, of course, going to keep his finger on the pulse, as will I. Since they are inviting the rest of the world to study these mummified remains, I'm hoping that we'll get some conclusive yeses or nos on if it's extraterrestrial or not. I feel like that shouldn't be super hard to prove if it's a fucking alien, if it's something that we've never seen before, and, I feel like that'd be kind of easy if it's all real, but we'll wait and see. Either way, it was still just a wild development from out of nowhere, so definitely wanted to talk about it. That's really about it. So, yep. Did you hear that the Las Vegas alien body cam video is apparently legit, according to expert examiners? Who are the expert examiners? Hey, this is my Uncle Steve. He said this shit is super real. Like, who do you even call in? The scientist from Independence Day that gets strangled to death? Yeah, they didn't even contact my father, so I already doubt these experts. Las Vegas alien videos previously missed detail proves authenticity, expert says. You can't deny it. Watch me. Boy, do I have some cold water to throw in your face, expert. Let me take a peek. Oh my god, wait, it's this old one. It's the old one. This whole load of baloney. This load of barnacles. He's still on this. I thought this was new. You mean this load of proof? True, right, sorry. The irrefutable evidence. After, of course, the 20 ads that I get here. I'll get to it soon.
I was on the other side. I was helping my dad to clean the...
On that side of the house?
On the other side, yeah, in the backyard. So we're working on a truck. We work on a truck and we were checking... Okay. So we're working with... I was cleaning everything, put everything inside the little garage we have. Me and my brother, we just looked.
What's the detail that we all missed?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
Can we go that side? I want to spend
Yeah, we can go look. No, any dogs or anything?
Is there something over there? Was that the missing detail? Oh my god, what is this format? I paused the video and then there's like 7 videos just surrounding it. I just wanted to rewind.
Not gonna let me sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, I bet. I wouldn't be sleeping either.
Alright, so what was the missing detail there? Was there some kind of alien warp drive parked in the backyard somewhere? Just scooted in sideways? When a Las Vegas family told police they saw something not human in their backyard, they were not lying. A veteran crime scene recreation expert said. Scott Roeder of Evidence Room Animation and Exhibits used his expertise and motion tracking software to analyze the video of a purported UFO crash landing in Sin City in April 2023. He told News Nation they tried to debunk the responding officer's body cam footage or prove something was added to the video. Now, he said he is convinced there were 2 creatures creeping around the family's Las Vegas yard that night. All of our results came back as authentic, Roeder said. There's no editing. That is an original video. What do we... am I misremembering? Where are the 2 creatures? Is it this one? Are they here? A tall, skinny alien creature with greenish color.
This is you. And this is us.
The man's being hunted by Piccolo, I guess. I don't remember that in the body cam. Because I remember the incident, but I don't even remember the greenish tall guys. So that's the footage? Let me see it again. Enhance. How do you have something that looks this blurry in 2024? This? These glow-in-the-dark neon props from mini golf? Is this them? Why are they this color? Are they inflicted with gamma radiation? Or is it this one, which is even blurrier somehow? What is he using for a security camera here? A Motorola Razr? Jesus Christ, I can't see anything. Is this proof somewhere?
This is around the neighborhood, so here's the video.
So it's the audio. Why would it do that? I guess if it was really mad if they crash landed, like, fuck! And then he kicks a trash can.
¡Ay! ¡Permisar! Calmungarela, me canceles var eso. Kylo, cherro, que chidica. Kylo, cherro.
Are they in the sand? Did they bury underneath? Like a little crab? What am I looking at? What am I looking for? Are they in the RV? Maybe I missed something important in the sand. Hold on, what does he say about it?
But Metro... So they went in the backyard and one of the officers pointed at the floor and it was a perfect circle. Here's a photo of the circle I'm referring to.
Who gives a fuck? And that is the furthest thing from a perfect circle I've ever seen. That's very oblong. That's like edamame shaped.
Come back, don't call us, alright? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, this is all old. I remember all of these. So what is the irrefutable proof that we missed? I don't understand. So this guy ran simulations to prove that there were aliens in his backyard that night? What kind of fucking simulations? Did he go in Blender and make a game out of it? Like, what do you mean? Roeder pored over the footage and watched it over and over until he finally spotted what he missed every time. 2 beings in the video at the same time, he told News Nation's show Banfield. Using motion tracking software that zeroes in on the source of motion, Roeder said he attached motion to a figure in the background to show that the movement of the shadow reflects the movement of a body that is attached to the head. We don't believe it's a floating head. We believe it's attached to a body, and the motion of that head from right to left is consistent with the motion that we see between the slats of the fence. The story has been fiercely debated since the streaks of lights lit up Las Vegas sky April 30th, 2023. Alright, let's take a peek at the irrefutable evidence that we all missed.
So this is a very slowed down screen recording I took, and I know everybody is trying to find the aliens in front of these guys, but I noticed something insane, and I want everybody, my 2 friends who will watch this, to take a look down, pay attention to 2 areas. We're going to look down here on the bottom right behind their fence and right up there, but we're going to first start down here because I found something crazy. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to what I believe is the creepiest part of this video. And I'm going to point out two things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head. And if you look really close, there's actually a shiny black eye.
It's that alien that pops out of that dude's chest in Total Recall. He's here.
Hand. That, I believe, is some creature, non-human, crouching down. And that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out. And then there you go. See the fingers? And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like...
Yeah, it's massaging the wood.
There's a little other, or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down.
Whoa, this is irrefutable.
And then there's the fingers going right up.
How did we miss it?
Down, up and down. Just looks like almost a human hand crawling up the fence. And at the very beginning you see... You get it.
Well, now I feel like a damn fool after seeing this.
What's really interesting about this is...
I'm assuming this isn't what Scott Roeder is saying is, like, irrefutable, completely authentic. Because apparently this guy's some kind of expert, and I don't think that would be the video. Because that is the stupidest shit I've seen in a minute. So where is Scott Roeder's video?
To another episode of Surviving the Survivor.
It is a fact that one man could not have made those 3 shots. It's a fact that John F. Kennedy was shot from the front, right, not the back. If you know how bullets react, you know that when a bullet goes into the brain or into the body or into the tissue, it creates a smaller hole on the entrance and a bigger...
What does that have to do with the aliens? Is he claiming aliens helped assassinate John F. Kennedy? I really want to believe that that's the angle he's taking. I'm going to rewind briefly. We are so off course now, but I have to know if he's blaming that on aliens.
All right, Scott. Let me jump in 1 second. So, Scott, is your claim? And I don't want to stay on this because we're delivering UFOs.
It's a ridiculous argument. I mean, you
got
to come to me more with
Scott. Do you believe there were 2 shooters? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay. Damn, it's not about aliens. Fuck, that would have been amazing if he's like, listen. If you analyze the Zapruder film, frame by frame, you're going to see 5 extraterrestrials touch down and blast them with a ray gun. It's right there. We used our motion tracking software to confirm it.
Which I found initially, and I didn't even see or recognize the being or whatever it is above the fence.
Then you're a damn fool. I recognized it right away.
It was pointed out to me by a subscriber to a friend of mine's podcast. But once you see it, you can't deny it. So there's actually 2 beings in the video at the same time.
Where is his video? Once you see it, you can't deny it. Well, show it to me so I can stop denying it. Where is it? This is like the most nothing fucking video of all time. Like, actually, it is like the most fucking nothing video to hyperanalyze. Oh, we talked... So here's good news for the alien enthusiasts. While there's still no evidence of aliens having visited us anytime recently, there is evidence from a Cambridge scientist who found the markers of life on an exoplanet, I think it was 50 light years from us. What was it, disulfur monoxide or something? And it's only found from life, I believe. Yeah, I think it was disulfur monoxide. I already fucking forgot. But whatever they found is only present in life. Only produced from life forms. So... that's big news. That's very hype. It was 140 light years? Oh, I thought it was 50. Whatever. That's still cool.
We can take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case,
Why are you having this alien teabag these gentlemen? What in the fuck does that prove?
Can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video, is there in the physical reality in which the Kenmore family is also there. Like, this is so critical because you can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side of the screen. And clearly it is behind there. It's just what you were able to determine that this shadow being or this being...
Did he, like, boost the shadow? Because now I can see the shadow for the fucking first time. Let me go back to, like, an old one now. I can finally see that shadow that they're losing their mind about. So he must have really, like, bumped it up so it was more visible.
In the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow or smoky filter or cloaking technique.
Technique? You think this guy he's like participating in the Chunin exams? He's using ninjutsu? Cloaking technique, brother, it'd be like cloaking tech, and I don't think it'd be casting a shadow. That'd be really inefficient. That'd be like the worst cloaking tech ever. Turn yourself into like a new character in Super Smash Brothers you haven't unlocked yet.
But cloaking itself from the camera itself in that it's minimizing our ability to identify pixels inside of that shadow.
Joined now by UFO
Her face really says it all.
I don't detect anything overt as a red flag that I would say that made me suspect that it was edited.
I'm so curious. Why would it... Let's just assume he's 100% right. Why the fuck would an 8-foot alien just be walking around, stop at this fence, look at the camera, and then walk away? What? He probably would just leave the scene. He's probably like super tight that his Turbo Cosmo space cruiser crashed into a fucking backyard. He would be upset. He wouldn't be calm. While most of you were sleeping soundly in your beds, having wet dreams, I was up tossing and turning all night, just eagerly waiting, like a kid on Christmas morning, for what the Pope was about to say in regards to aliens. If you're confused by that statement, it shows me that you're already so naive and it makes me sick. You're living in the dark. The deep state's controlling your mind and it's time you break free. And let me be the guiding light to get you there. The Vatican had scheduled a live stream where they were going to go over supernatural phenomenon and even aliens themselves, potentially, according to many headlines. The live stream was slated for this morning, and as of 2 hours ago, that live stream happened. I don't want to get into spoilers, but this was universe-shattering shit. Let me first lay down the groundwork for the lore about what the live stream was supposed to pertain to, then I'll give you the debriefing on what happened. Here, the Pope is going to be holding a live press conference tomorrow to talk about aliens. We live in the golden age of aliens right now. The Pope is talking about aliens? Pope set to hold press conference on aliens and supernatural. This is what I'm talking about! It's about time! Let's see what the Pope had to say about the aliens. Okay, never mind. The Pope is demanding that I pay the sun. What is this? This is so ridiculous. A word from Larry Kudlow, and that word is go fuck yourself, I guess. I hate modern journalists. I'm not paying just for access to a fucking article that you probably lifted from the tweets anyway. It's a radio station. That's what it seems like. 99.9. The Pope station. This one's tuned directly into God. Did you hear Jesus is going to be making a guest appearance at the Pope's press conference? Can you imagine that lineup? This would be like Coachella, but for religion. The Pope, Jesus, aliens, all we need next is Job. That'd be a wild lineup. They would go so hard. The Vatican is scheduled to release documents pertaining to the supernatural and other phenomena, and others are suggesting even about aliens. What's going to happen? According to the National Catholic Reporter, documents will be released that were prepared by 3 investigators. The document is set to explain the new norms considered by the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith about such issues. They have 3 Vatican investigators? Who are they? Is it like Russell Crowe from The Exorcist? Was that more of like a documentary than anything? What is this? The dicastery for the doctrine of faith. This is, I'm very new here. Here's the Holy Father tab. Okay. The last time a report like this was released was in 1978. The Vatican has now prepared papers that share the Pope and the Church's guidelines when it comes to things like apparitions and supernatural phenomena. Social media sites, blogs, and others interested in the discovery of the possibility of the existence of aliens and the proof thereof have been buzzing on different platforms, speculating about what will be put forth in the papers. A few media outlets are hinting that there would be something earth-shattering at the news conference, but that doesn't seem like the case. Tomorrow's press conference will be live-streamed, and the press conference will be led by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, who will speak about the Church's view on various items like apparitions and supernatural phenomena. In addition, the doctrine does comment on the Church's view about faith concerning aliens. Why? It's an easy explanation. according to the National Catholic Reporter, is being done so after a surge in reporting of aliens and supernatural phenomena from the mainstream media. Okay, so this just sounds like they're going to say, like, yeah, if there are aliens, they're, like, totally Catholic. Like, we're, like, completely fine with that. It doesn't seem like they're putting forth their own evidence of their existence, more so about their perspective on aliens versus the faith. That's a lot less hype than I was expecting. I thought the Pope was going to come out there with, like, a fucking alien head, slap it on the desk, and be like, yep, here they are. And this is the proof. I'll watch the live stream, but I'm not expecting anything earth-shattering here from the Pope press conference. What time is it? I'll set an alarm so I can be there right on time so I don't miss anything. 12 p.m. Like Eastern? 12 p.m. what? Central? 12 p.m. Pope time? Like, I don't... What does he operate on? Okay, not even the Reddit's all that pumped. Yeah, I'm not expecting much, so I guess we'll see. I'd love to be pleasantly surprised. The Pope podcast about aliens? Well, it's more than a podcast. He's going full-blown live stream. I don't know if it's on Kick, Rumble, or maybe they have their own dedicated service. Do you think the Pope will talk about the Kendrick vs. Drake beef? I know we gathered you all here about, like, supernatural apparitions, aliens, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Chupacabra, gnomes, goblins, whatever, but let's talk about the Kendrick vs. Drake beef for a second, huh? Isn't that shit crazy? Well, aliens are definitely real. 100%. There's aliens out there. I think you'd be a fool to think we're alone in the universe. I just know that they're not here, and I don't think they ever have been. Maybe, like, aliens scanned us at one point. I think maybe that has, like, a slim chance. They got us with, like, a fucking UAV after a 3-kill streak somewhere in the cosmos. But other than that, nah, I highly fucking doubt aliens have ever been here. People always misconstrue my stance on aliens. I 100% believe... It's more than a belief. I know aliens are out there. I just really am... I also know they haven't been here. I don't really feel like reading all this. Why in the fuck would aliens be traveling across the galaxy in the golden snitch from Harry Potter? Like, this looks like a Christmas bell. Like, what is this needle? Like, this is... I mean, this is like steampunk almost. You can't be serious. There's no way. Well, can't argue with that. The Vatican Alien E3 showcase has concluded. It was about 2 hours long, and I have no fucking idea what they were saying. There's no subtitles that were available for it, so I had to wait for it to be translated by others so it could be fed to me, baby birded, just vomited into my mouth about what was discussed. And the answer couldn't have been more underwhelming. This was like the Willy Wonka experience, but for adults. It's so fucking lame. Basically, they just came out with these set of rules and guidelines that would help people avoid being the victim of scams and hoaxes. So, since alien sightings and UAPs and all types of supernatural phenomena are being reported so frequently, and a lot of times, well, every single time pretty much, it's all from bad actors fraudulently just using this as a way of making money off it or generating headlines, the Vatican decided to come forward and tighten its grip, just get like this titty twister on it, and let people know, from now on, only a pope rather than local bishops can declare apparitions and revelations to be supernatural. So that's a pretty vague term, that's kind of all-encompassing, so if you see like a light in the sky that you can't quite explain, you can now no longer write it off as aliens or try and portray it as something other than, well, that was a weird light, until a pope comes forward and says, yep, that shit was freaky. That one's going in the alien logbook, son. So, from now on, only a pope has the power to declare something as supernatural. And this is basically just patch notes to their previous guidelines issued in 1978. And the reason they did this is to crack down on people falling victim to bullshit baloney. So, as mentioned here, some cases of supernatural phenomena were exploited for profit, power, and personal interest, or even a pretext for exerting control over people or carrying out abuse. There's a quote here that says, "The possibility of believers being misled by an event that is attributed to a divine initiative but is merely the product of someone's imagination, desire for novelty, tendency to fabricate falsehoods, or inclination towards lying." So overall, this press conference was about announcing these new rules which aim to streamline the process of declaring something truly supernatural, so that way people can avoid being scammed as frequently as they have been. So for everyone like me who wanted this press conference to have like eye-opening new information about aliens or anything supernatural, we were left high and dry, dick in hand, with nothing to eat here. This breakfast that they served up was a fucking nothing omelet, unfortunately. I mean, it's cool that they're doing something to try and crack down on people using supernatural sightings to exploit people. Like, yeah, that's obviously a good thing to try and, you know, tighten the screws on. But damn, the way that the media hyped this up really had me and many others believing that this might be something big. Like, the Pope comes forward, like, you know, pyrotechnics are going off, smoke shooting, they start playing the Undertaker WWE walkout music, and the Pope approaches the mic, flips down a pair of sunglasses, and says, "We're not alone." But that's not what we got from the live stream. Maybe one day, I guess we'll see, but yeah, that's the most recent alien update in the world. I keep my finger on the pulse of anything extraterrestrial, so yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya.